There are a lot of business owners out there that like the doing of the trade or the service that they've got, but the financials, they'd rather leave it to an accountant to deal with. What do you say to that?
I think they're operating financially blind in during the year between their meetings with their tax accountant. So if all you have as a business owner is a bookkeeper and a tax accountant who tells you how you did at the end of the year after they've prepared your tax return, everything for that prior year is done. There's nothing you can do about it. You were flying by the seat of your pants throughout the whole year, and
I create clear thinking and decisive leaders who can amplify their influence. Contact me to find out how I can help you or your organization. And today our guest is Ben Risser. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judith. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Ben. Ben, I can see that you're a very smiley young man there. What makes you smile so much?
I am I'm blessed. I have a beautiful wife and three beautiful kids, and I'm doing what I love, and I'm serving my local communities and communities abroad by helping their businesses succeed. And so I'm happy and privileged to be in that position.
Fantastic. So, Ben, tell me a little bit more about you.
Well, I'm an aerospace engineer turned financial entrepreneur. I never would have thought that when I graduated Penn State that I was going to end up doing financial and accounting services. But long story short, you know, just discovered my entrepreneurial desire and pursued it. Pursued the chartered financial analyst designation, and just one thing led to another, and in mid 2021, I pivoted and focused solely on providing fractional chief financial officer services to small business, private equity, and nonprofits.
Brilliant. What made you make that change, though? Because it seems quite a dramatic one.
It is. I did not know that I was an entrepreneur until I read the Robert Kiyosaki books, and by that time, I was working my first engineering job at Boeing, um, and being a new, a young engineer, was not in a very entrepreneurial group. It was more of a legacy program where they just kind of want you to turn the crank and create more sausage. And I was always thinking about, more innovative ways to do this and thinking more high level of, program financials. And I just felt very caged. And so I started studying, and I haven't stopped studying since.
Yeah, I can understand that. I certainly went through a phase in my life where I used to get to about August and would get that itch to learn something. I'm like, I need to learn something new. And
Yeah, I recently took the Clifton Strengths Finder test, and it really screamed from the mountaintops like you are a learner, and like if you're not learning, you're restless. And I think that has to do with your definition of maverick leadership, where a maverick leader is always learning adjacent knowledge to what they're doing so that they can expand and innovate. And that's me to a T.
Thank you. Yeah, and that adjacent knowledge. In fact, I was mentoring somebody only last week, and I was saying exactly the same thing. Is that it's not good enough to just know your own stuff. I mean, if you're hired to be, I don't know, a HR person, then you're supposed to be good at HR, or if you're meant to be the accountant, you're supposed to be good at accountant. But what else have you got? It's just like, where's the value add?
Yeah, I've always just been more of like gravitating towards the big picture, but the other person I relate to is Elon Musk, in that like he's somebody who sees the big picture, but man o' day does he understand the down in the weeds technical stuff, and he is a voracious consumer of information, uh, which helps him lead his organizations and put focus on what needs focus.
Mm. Okay, so you mentioned about the finance, and I was kind of curious, really, because he was telling me that you're going to explain how you compare financial intelligence with financial literacy, and how that can be empowering us to make better decisions. And I'm like, well, how do you do that?
Well, financial literacy and financial intelligence make up what I define as financial situational awareness. And that's a lot of words, but
Mm.
to summarize, financial intelligence is concise, high level, high value, actionable financial information that business owners can uh, independently make financial decisions in their business. Do I hire that next person? Do I purchase that next commercial vehicle? Um, can I acquire, or is now the time to acquire another business? So it's high level financial data. And then the financial literacy piece is an individual's ability to consume and understand financial content and format. And a lot of small business owners, they know their business, they know how to create value for their customers, they know what it costs them to create that value, but oftentimes they struggle um, understanding the financial ins and outs. Like, I had a great month of net income. Why is my cash balance low? And just really coming alongside executive leaders wherever they're at in their financial literacy and bringing them up to a minimum level of financial literacy so they can consume the high level financial content, the intelligence, and have financial situational awareness, which answers four questions. It answers financially, where have you been? Where are you at? Where do you want to go? And where are you actually heading? And I believe as a business owner, if you can't answer those four questions, you're going to have a very hard time developing your budget for the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years. And you're going to have a very hard time tracking your progress to that budget or even knowing what that budget should be.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. There are a lot of business owners out there that like the doing of the trade or the service that they've got, but the financials, I'd rather leave it to an accountant to deal with. What do you say to that?
I think they're operating financially blind in during the year between their meetings with their tax accountant. So if all you have as a business owner is a bookkeeper and a tax accountant who tells you how you did at the end of the year after they've prepared your tax return, everything for that prior year is done. There's nothing you can do about it. You were flying by the seat of your pants throughout the whole year, and um, what I think business owners should do, whether it's, through my firm or whoever, is find somebody who can fill the functional void between the bookkeeper and the tax accountant throughout the year. And that those roles in large organizations are filled by a controller and a chief financial officer. But most small businesses or organizations desperately need the skill set of a controller and a CFO long before they can afford any of those roles full time as an employee. And I would say uh, you should hire those folks on a part-time basis, um, as soon as you can afford it, so that you can be making wise financial decisions throughout the year and not just reacting to what your accountant told you after they prepared your tax return.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So how does the empowerment piece come in?
The empowerment piece is if you have financial situational awareness, which is answering those four questions. Now you're able to plan to grow. You can leave the season of your business where you're in a reactive and defensive position to a season, to hopefully a never-ending season of having being able to plan and be on the offensive in your business, where you're planning where you want to go and you're being intentional about that, you're making those investments and you're able to actually track your progress to those goals quantitatively, not just qualitatively. We have to define goals qualitatively before we break them into numbers, but then we have to take those quantitative goals and turn that into a budget that we operate to. And so it's really the empowerment piece is the ability to transform your business once you've established financial situational awareness.
And how easy is it for someone to empower themselves, do you think?
It can be done. I'm not going to say that it can't be done. I think a lot of business owners struggle for the time to come up that learning curve themselves, or maybe it's just not something that they have an affinity for. And so a lot of times what I see is in these small businesses, maybe 1 to 10 million in revenue, um, they've got that bookkeeper and that tax accountant, and they're just, they're just kind of watching these high level numbers, but they're not really being proactive and creating a budget that extends from the income statement into the balance sheet so that they can be positioning their company to grow. Um, so that's, yeah, did I answer your question or did I miss it?
No, that's totally good. That's totally good. I think it just makes me think about what you were saying before that people are going to need this kind of financial literacy, that financial support, even when they can't afford it. So if someone's sitting there trying to work out whether they should invest in a fractional financial advisor, what are the things they should consider and how do they know they've got the right person?
I think they should interview several CFOs because CFOs are diverse. Some specialize in, you know, online product sales and services. Others specialize in manufacturing, others in real estate, others in construction. Um, so I think you should definitely interview several before you decide who to hire. Um, and I think there's a there it, it's almost like paying for I came from system safety and aerospace engineering, and like uh you're essentially paying for something to prevent something else from happening, something undesirable from happening. And the fractional CFO is similar in a sense that, yes, they can help. They absolutely can help you increase profits and profitability, but they're also protecting you from your blind spots, things, pitfalls that you don't even know exist, that they have the skills and expertise to foresee and understand and keep you from falling into that pitfall, which could save them losses far in excess of the fees of a CFO. So and the CFO is also going to position your company to scale and increase profits and profitability, and those that scaling dwarfs the fee of a fractional CFO. And my goal is to really get a company to the point where I can help them write the job description to replace my company in their business and hire those folks in full time. For me, that's mission success.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. So, as the business owners that are listening right now, what do they need to know? Tell me what they need to know to have that dream of that financial situational awareness that you talk about.
It's their ability to accurately project cash flow, and that is not a trivial or simple thing to do in a lot of different businesses. Uh, and if they can't project their cash flows, they can't foresee cash shortages. They maybe don't know how much they're going to be able to distribute to themselves for the year. And that forward-looking strategic perspective, that financial executive partner that a CFO is to a business owner is really what they need because being a business owner and executive is a lonely place to be. Oftentimes, everybody else in your organization is reporting to you, and sometimes it can be lonely in that you don't have anybody to bounce decisions off of, um, and you end up making decisions yourself based on what you know, and not necessarily knowing what you don't know. And so uh, I would say it's wise to partner with a professional who's got experience in your industry. And as far as like the vision for it, the ability to do it, obviously it's some CFOs, depending if it's a company and startup, they might be willing to work for stock options and stuff while the company is pre-revenue. Other times, it's just a matter of getting to a point in your business growth where you've got the net income to support a fractional CFO.
Okay, brilliant. So before we end for today, I'll be curious to know what is it that we have missed talking about that you think is highly relevant?
I think business owners, you know, thinking about profit and profitability is is important. Yes, it's critical. It makes those are the things that make the mission possible. So whatever the mission of that business or organization is, whether it be a nonprofit type mission or, a construction company looking to deliver great residential real estate and, you know, provide a great place to work for their employees, like the ability to increase your mission impact has so much to do with making wise financial decisions, oftentimes in the early stages of a company where they are too small to have full-time accounting and finance professionals walking with them throughout the year. I would say think of it as an investment to increase your mission impact and fulfill the vision that they have for the company. It goes beyond profit and profitability, though those are the catalysts to increase and scale mission impact.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. Ben, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Judith. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Brilliant. Me too. Thank you. And thank you out there for tuning in to the Maverick Paradox podcast. I am Judith Germain, your host, and I hope you've enjoyed today's conversation.
The Maverick Paradox. Judith Germain is an author, speaker, consultant, mentor, and trainer, and the leading authority on Maverick leadership. She is the founder of the Maverick Paradox, which supports organizations to enhance their leadership capabilities and to help business owners develop and grow their businesses. Judith enables individuals, business owners, and organizations to improve their impact and influence. She is also HR Zone's leadership columnist, an international online radio host, and her expert opinion has appeared in national, international, and trade press.